Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I do apologise for the technical glitches we had, and we've been using a new webinar software, and it took a little bit of teething issues. But nonetheless, I'll get straight into it. But thank you for joining me again. My name's Nathan. I'm one of the business development guys over here at Insight Legal. What we're going to be focusing on in today's webinar is our most recent two product releases, 136 and 137. I'm going to take you through the highlights of those. Currently at Insight, what we're aiming to deliver product release wise is one every month, complete with new features and new functionality for your firm to utilize. What we'll also be doing on this webinar is something that historically we haven't done, but we're looking to really pull the curtain down on where we're headed, what we're doing, and what really we're focusing on over the next few months, just so you have an understanding of where we're going and how we in future can be of benefit to the firm. This is going to be somewhat of a series of webinars that we're doing, and they'll be alongside every release that we're going through. But without further ado, what I'll share my screen and we'll get straight in. So our focus on the releases initially has been to address adding efficiencies, greater control, visibility, and to our first feature, general visibility. So within every matter that you have, historically, you've always had the save button at the top here. But what you have now, when amending user-defined data, adding notes into the system, when you now press save, there'll be the clarification of that. More just to give you a bit of reassurance that what you've completed is saved, as opposed to you just pressing save, and it more being a hope piece. There is confirmation of that now. The next piece comes down to really greater permissioning and how we try to add some granularity to the permissions. Within staff maintenance, we've added 4 additional permissions through here, those being on the initial level of creating clients and creating matters. Historically, anyone's been able to do it, but what we're doing now is we're giving the ability to define who should be able to create matters, who shouldn't, or equally, who should be able to edit clients or who should be able to edit matters, as opposed to creating them. These are available for everyone. You can utilize these to whatever level you would need to. The next piece is something historically has been on the wish list a number of times, and we are happy to be able to deliver it. It comes in accustomed to the automatic bill numbering. We've also added now automatic archive numbering. So if you as a firm archive based on a numerical system, you can add in where you're currently at. Insight will apply that, and now every time you go to close a matter, so for example, if I close this matter I have here, define the close date, give it an archive location, when I then close that matter, what that will then do, alongside the archive numbering system we have here, I can now generate a number automatically, and it will follow the trend that you've predefined in the settings. The next piece of 136, again, something we're really happy to be able to deliver, because we think it's something that more or less every firm will be able to utilize to differing levels. As you've known historically, you have the ability to preview emails. Like so, you hover over them, you can see the content of your emails, you can have the visibility of them through here. What we've now added in the top right hand corner of any matter files, you click on the page here, you now have the ability to preview not only emails but documents. If I go over to this matter here where there's a number of documents, I click on my client care letter, I click on my proof of funds, and I have visibility of that document through here without needing to open it. I can jump between them, I can view all sorts of different documents from here, as opposed to needing to open them all and go into each of them individually. You just have that additional visibility on here. The next piece, and historically, again, one of the biggest efficiencies of Insight has historically always been the email integration we have with Outlook. It's something that anyone can use indiscriminately of their job and the role they place within the firm. Everyone will use emails. Most people will contact clients, and the email integration, automatically saving things onto the matters, has been greatly well received. What we have now done to extend that a little bit further, on any emails you both send, receive into Insight, you now have the ability to define the folder in which they go into. So for example, previously, they've all just filtered straight within to the generic matter folder. From there, fee earners would move them around as they see fit. What you now have the ability to do is move those into an existing subfolder through here, either directly into a correspondence folder or creating a new subfolder along the way. You click where you want that to go, you send the email, it will filter directly into the system, into that folder in particular. The next piece is something we've worked on outside of the wish list. It's something that we feel will be greatly well received by a number of people when they're aware of it. That being, Insight has typically always had a default layout. I imagine most people are still using it, albeit customizable. What we've now created is very much more of a fee earner focused layout. We go into this matter I have here. What this has done is this is sort of focusing really on the pieces that are the most important for most fee earners, being that the client detail here, being able to email directly from here, focusing heavily on the matter files, the notes, the matter pieces up here, but whilst also making the things that they may need day to day much more accessible, as opposed to needing to find them through various tabs and various areas within the software. This just gives much more of a detailed approach to the system. How you'd access this within File, you have a couple of different form layouts now. You either have the classic layout, the focus layout, or your default layouts that you've defined and saved to the system based on how you want to customize it. Feel free to give it a try out. It may be something that works, of course. As with anything, there may be some things that you want to change with this. Of course, this is still a customizable layout. If you want to replace notes with something else, you of course have the abilities to do that. The next piece that we've worked on, again, I know it's been a gripe of a number of people historically, and we're happy to have been able to address it. Within contact types, historically, when you've added the contact, it's just been based on date order. It could have been a jumble of all sorts of different things in all sorts of different areas, and it in turn makes things hard to find. What we've now done within contact types and relationships, they are now based completely alphabetically, lending to things being much easier to find. The next piece I want to touch on, admittedly, it is an enterprise piece, but I think it's one of those pieces that I think is probably too good not to share on this call. Going into that now, so within matter types you have here, when you click on any matter type, you now have the ability to define the PII area of practice. I go in here, adoption, I want to move that into family, for example, through here. Click on that there, save that. What this will now do for any people on enterprise, within analytics, you'll have an analytics dashboard. You'll also have a PII dashboard. What this looks like, if we click on the PII piece here, this will now take me external from Insight as the analytics webinar did. But what this will do, it will open up the BI Insight through here, and it will essentially condense all of the information that exists within those fields that we've defined and exists within the database, identify it by department, the area specifically, and it will give you a breakdown of the monetary values and the percentages of that work throughout the system. You can compare that to previous fiscal years if you wanted to, or probably one of the more impressive pieces, we come through and click this link here, it will go through numbers 1 through 36 of how your PII form will probably be laid out, and it will give you the percentages directly. Something that could save massive amounts of time. Some firms this may take 3 or 4 hours. Hopefully this may turn that into say 10-15 minutes to complete your PII renewal. Those are the highlights. Typically, of course, there are a number of fixes we did within the system as well, and we did a lot on the performance of Insight, so hopefully you're all seeing that and it's a lot slicker and smoother for you. Some of the major pieces from the fixes, we've done a number of things. We've done quite a bit on the reporting fixes. We've added the ability when you print a matter to now define interest through a date period if you wanted to do that, but a lot of small things that hopefully should help the day-to-day without you really even noticing them. But those would be the highlights as an overall piece. What I want to take the time to do now is talk about really what we're doing over the next few months, really where we're headed and what we're focusing on. So what that will look like for a lot of people, the major things we're looking to create short term, really. So in October, something we're looking to release, which could be really big for account staff, is the ability to import postings from an office disbursement into Excel. So that could be something where, say, a land registry statement, they could be, say, 60, 70 land registry transactions on there that you'll need to typically import individually. What you will have the ability to do through the template that we've defined, you can add in the figures, the values to that Excel spreadsheet directly from the Excel download from the land registry and import those directly into Insight en masse, as opposed to needing to do them individually. Again, a massive time saver, and hopefully something near on everyone would be able to utilize to different levels. It may not be HMLR, it may be searches, it could be anything that typically comes in an Excel form. Move that over to our template, import that directly into Insight. Further afield than that, what we're looking at is the ability to auto-complete addresses when creating matters, creating clients, the ability to save report criteria. Admittedly, these all, we don't have a specific date set for these, but these are all things that we're scoping and hoping to achieve really over the next 6 months. And outside of that, we're also looking into recurring nominal entries. Something we're putting a big focus on at the minute is loading screens. Historically, again, you load up something on Insight, you press something, you wouldn't necessarily know that the back end is at work. So what we're adding in now, or attempting to add in over the next couple of months, is loading screens when loading a matter, running the bank reconciliation, all things that just give you greater visibility of what we're doing and what Insight is doing, really. Outside of that, looking much further into the future in terms of our overall aspirations and our aims for Insight specifically, with Dye & Durham, as you all know, is that there is a number of products that exist within that suite, all of which things that could help every single firm. So over the longer period, we're looking to incorporate those systems, those features, to create Insight as a truly end-to-end solution, be it going through client onboarding, quoting and searches on the conveyancing side, equally much more on the AML side and the compliance side. So there's a number of things we're doing in the back end, hopefully things that I can talk to you about in much more detail over the coming months, but all stuff that we're working on. It's looking to be a really exciting time moving forward, and like I say, on the next few months of these webinars, hopefully we won't have any technical issues, and equally I'll be able to give you a bit more information, open the doors a little bit wider as to where we're going. One thing I would say, I'm really happy to have any conversations individually with any firms if they're wanting to know a bit more detail about the specifics of where we're going and what we're doing. By all means, happy for a conversation. Please do get in touch if you want to. But thank you all very much for your time. Thank you very much for your patience in the initial instance. Again, thank you for joining me today, and hope to speak to you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.